Okay. Okay, the Judiciary Committee will come to order. Will the clerk call the roll?
Senator Saslaw. Senator Normant. Senator Lucas. Senator Obenshain. Senator McDougall. Senator Stewart. Senator Stanley. Senator Chafin. Senator Deeds. Senator Peterson. Senator Serval. Senator McClellan. Senator Boysko. Senator Morrissey. Senator Edwards.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. The first order of business will be Senate Bill 5082, which is Senator Marsden's bill, certain hospice, home care, etc., immunity from civil liability. So, Senator Marsden, would you like to present your bill, Senate Bill 5082, and I might say there are a number of people that have signed up to speak on the bill.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate Bill 5082 provides COVID-19 liability protections. It provides liability protections during the COVID-19 pandemic as declared by the governor for 5 providers of health care. In 2003 and 2008, the General Assembly passed liability protections for health care providers during disasters and emergencies as declared by the governor. The definition of health care provider that was used is the definition in the Medical Malpractice Act. That definition does not include the following: assisted living facilities, which is for elderly persons, home health, hospice, private providers of mental health, or adult daycare. The bill is limited in scope to COVID-19 as declared by the governor in Executive Order 51, not all disasters and emergencies. The bill provides the protections when a lack of resources caused by COVID-19 results in care having to be provided in a manner other than would be normally have been required. The bill has an emergency clause. I think it is only fair that these providers be on an equal footing and treated like other health care providers as they have tendered vital care of their patients for their patients and residents during the trying times and under huge challenges presented by COVID-19. These provider groups have worked with the Virginia Trial Lawyers Association to reach agreement on this bill, and I want to thank those groups and the trial lawyers for their work on it. And Mr. Chairman, that is the bill.
Okay. I understand Senator Normant has a motion to roll his Senate Bill 5023 into Senator Marsden's bill, Senate Bill 5082. Is that correct?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just arrived, and I apologize if I'm holding anything up, but that is correct. I would appreciate it if you would roll my bill into Senator Marsden's bill, and I think we'll have a good product. Is
there a second? Senator Deeds seconds the motion. All in favor of the motion to roll Senator Normant's bill, which is Senate Bill 5023, into Senator Marsden's bill 5082. Would you, clerk, call the roll? All right. Without objection, all in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Okay. There are a bunch of people that have signed up to speak in favor of Senator Marsden's Senate Bill 5082. First of all, would anybody in the committee have any questions about the bill? Okay, we'd like to have members of the public speak in favor of Carla Groff is the first person I have down. Carla Groff, and then Charles Downs Jr. Charles Downs.
Yes, Senator Edwards, I'm available. Can I speak? Is this appropriate now?
Yeah, thank you, Charles Downs Jr. from Roanoke. Nice to see you.
Senator Edwards, members of the Judiciary Committee, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you briefly in support of Senate Bill 5082. My name is Charles L. Downs Jr., and I'm the General Counsel for Virginia Lutheran Homes, which is a nonprofit senior living provider in the Roanoke and Shenandoah Valleys. Virginia Lutheran Home operates an assisted living facility, skilled facility, HUD senior living facility, and a home health entity as well. As a nonprofit senior living provider, and specifically an assisted living provider, the impact of COVID-19 on our day-to-day operations has been dramatic. We have been fortunate that none of our residents have contracted COVID-19. However, this has come at a cost to our organization, our employees, and our residents. We have increased spending to cover costs associated with the pandemic, like testing kits, PPE, and facility modifications in an effort to keep our employees and residents safe. Challenges have been great. Our assisted living communities, like other essential businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic, have experienced PPE shortages, limited and restricted testing supplies, delayed testing, back-ordered infection control products, and workforce shortages and challenges. The challenges faced have not gone unnoticed. I've been interviewed by NBC National on First Story on liability concerns in the senior living community. And likewise, Governor Northam recognized the dire situation frontline providers were experiencing due to the COVID-19 pandemic and issued Executive Order 60 that provided that liability to healthcare providers. Unfortunately, our assisted living communities in the Commonwealth of Virginia were not included in the Virginia Code's definition and were excluded from the limited immunity provided under Executive Order 60. I speak in favor of the bill because Senate Bill 5082 recognizes the contributions of assisted living and other healthcare providers that are included. Our communities, employees, and residents will continue to rise to the challenges of this pandemic and make as our primary goal the health, safety, and well-being of our residents. Senate Bill 5082 would help us continue our mission through these challenging times. Thank you, Senator Edwards, and the rest of the committee for this opportunity to speak to you in favor of the bill.
Yeah, thank you, Charles. I might say as a matter of personal privilege that I'm very familiar with Virginia Lutheran Homes, having chaired the board when we created the retirement community back in the early 90s, 1993, I think, when the retirement community, as the life care retirement community opened up. The next person will be Allison Shaba.
Zuba.
Sorry.
Thank you so much for letting me speak today. I'm the Executive Director of Adult Care Center of Central Virginia, located in absolutely beautiful historic downtown Lynchburg. And I want to speak to you today about supporting this bill. Our center provides healthcare oversight, and we employ registered nurses, certified nursing assistants, and medication aides, and we provide services for those most vulnerable so that they can stay at home longer. We are not a part of the immunity part, and we do want to have support of this bill so that we can continue to provide these services without the fear of reprisal for our employees. We were closed from mid-March to mid-June and therefore went 3 months without revenue. Once we reopened, we had lost 25% of our clientele due to a decline in health. So not only did we have a 3-month loss of revenue, but we also are now making that up and have the added cost of PPE. So our staff take safety of our participants very seriously. We have all reduced. We're not doing vacations. We're not getting together with family. We're trying to keep our germ pools as low as absolutely possible while Lynchburg and Roanoke are on the rise for cases. And we want to make sure that we're maintaining a very safe and healthy environment for our clients without that fear of reprisal. So thank you for your time, and please support 5082.
Okay, thank you. The next person
Mr.
is
Chairman.
in the room.
Serville.
Yes, Senator Serville.
Mr. Chairman, having polled the committee and detecting that there does not seem to be much opposition to the bill, it would strike me that given that we started an hour and a half late and we have 9 bills remaining and 30 minutes to go, that we might expedite this by somebody making a motion report and getting this discussion moving, because I'm not clear that we're really moving the ball with this testimony we're taking. My guess is this bill is probably safe.
I think it is in good shape. Carla Groff was here. Would you like to say a word, like 30 seconds? Carla Groff.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm Carla Groff with the Bedford Adult Day Center, and I'm co-chair of Leading Age Adult Day Healthcare Council. I'm asking that you do support Senate Bill 5082. While healthcare providers such as nursing homes are afforded the liability immunity by Executive Order 60 related to COVID-19, other community-based providers of skilled nursing services such as adult day centers are not included in Virginia's definition of healthcare providers. While our center offers a variety, while all services offer a variety of activities and services. Our adult day center also provides nursing home level of care with therapeutic activities and skilled nursing services. And although nursing homes have followed rigid infection control practices, they've still experienced outbreaks of COVID-19 within their facilities. Community-based programs have the added risk of not being able to isolate participants from others within their communities, and we can only ensure that we follow the latest infection control guidelines while participants are within our walls receiving day services. Our center closed on March 16th due to the threat of COVID-19, and we remain closed with hopes of reopening in the near future. Our primary roadblock is the fear of spreading the virus to our participants and staff, but our secondary concern is the fear of litigation that may arise if our best efforts to stem the spread of the virus fail. So this is why I ask for your support of Senate Bill 5082. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have several people in favor. I'm not going to ask them to speak. I'll mention the names. Chris Santorcero, is that right?
Yes, thank you,
favored.
Santacero.
And Brent Rawlings.
Thank you for your consideration.
Brent Rawlings in favor also. Mindy Carlin in favor. And there's a Debbie Taylor opposed to it. Would any of those would like to speak for 15 seconds? Because we do have a short time frame. Any of those insist on speaking for? I think the bill's in good shape. For 15 seconds? Debbie Taylor, I see, is against it.
Yes.
I'll give you 15 seconds to explain why.
Give us the bill and basically we feel that health providers more broadly should be responsible for interventions to
Okay, we're having a hard time hearing you, but we understand you're against the bill. I think the bill's in pretty good shape. Is there a motion that the bill be, the substitute, be reported?
Move to report.
It's been moved and seconded that the bill be reported. The clerk will call the roll.
Senator Saslaw. Senator Normant. Senator Lucas.
Aye.
Senator Obenshain. Senator McDougal. Senator Stewart.
Yes.
Senator Stanley. Senator Chafin. Senator Deeds. Senator Peterson. Senator Serval. Senator McClellan. Senator Boysko.
Aye.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Senator Morrissey. Senator Edwards.
Aye.
Ayes 14, no 0.
The bill passes 14-0, and I apologize to those that did not have a chance to speak to the extent that they would like to have, but we have a very tight schedule here. The next bill, I'm going to move on to Senator DeSteff has a bill, Senate Bill 5072.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Senator DeSteff.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Senate Bill 5072 clarifies that sheriff's offices and regional jails are considered public agencies for purposes of immunity from liability for the death of any or any injury to persons or damage to property resulting from the emergency services activities provided while complying with or attempting to comply with the emergency services and disaster law or in any rule, regulation, or executive order promulgated pursuant to the provision of the emergency services and disaster law. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, what this does is it gives our regional jails and sheriff's offices the same protections of the Commonwealth any political subdivision thereof, or federal agencies. And that's it. And I'm happy
Mr.
to answer
Chair.
any questions.
Senator
Peterson.
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 Senator Peterson.
I'd ask the gentleman, wouldn't he agree with me right now that the doctrine of sovereign immunity would apply to a sheriff or a regional jail? I mean, they are carrying out a governmental function. They're an elected official. You can't sue a sheriff now unless you have an extremely unusual case. I would, right now, sheriffs are protected by sovereign immunity. Is he saying that we ought to change that?
No, Mr. Chairman. Senator Peterson, what I'm saying is under 44146.23, it's not clear that it includes sheriffs, sheriff's offices, regional jails. So that's why we're attempting to clarify it here.
Okay, Senator Peterson. All right, any further discussion? Anybody would like to speak for the bill?
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Senator Peterson.
I'm looking at the bill, and it says immunity from liability, neither the Commonwealth nor any political subdivisions thereof. And that means just what it says. The Commonwealth, to the extent it creates local offices, whether it's a commissioner of revenue or a treasurer or a county board, those are subdivisions which are protected under the existing immunity of 44-146.23. And I feel like if we start sort of adding to that, we're going to make it weaker. I mean, right now, again, the Commonwealth and its agencies are exempt from liability under the plain language of the statute. So while I appreciate the intention of my friend Senator DeSteph, I don't think this is making anybody safer from a lawsuit. I think it's either at best restating the current law or at worst opening the door for more lawsuits.
Is there a motion? Any further discussion? Is there a motion? Motion is, what's the motion? To pass it by indefinitely. All right, it's been moved and seconded to pass the bill by indefinitely. Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Saslaw. Senator Norman. Senator Lucas.
Aye.
Senator Obenshain. Senator McDougal.
Aye. No. No. No to PBI.
Senator Stewart. Senator Stanley. Senator Chafin. Senator Deeds. Senator Peterson. Senator Serval.
What's the soup?
Senator McClellan.
It's chicken and dumplings.
Senator Boysko.
Aye.
Senator Morrissey.
Aye.
Senator Edwards.
Aye.
9 ayes, 5 nays.
Okay, the bill is defeated, PBI'd, passed by indefinitely by a vote of 9-5. I'd like to, at this point, go to Senator Morrissey's bill, Senate Bill 5065, having to do with qualified immunity. Basically puts in the Code of Virginia the federal law, but it also says that the qualified immunity is not a defense in that case. So Senator Morrissey, Senate Bill 5065, and there are a number of people who like to speak for and against.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this bill creates a civil cause of action for the deprivation of a person's rights by an LEO, and it would provide for compensatory damages, punitive damages, and Senator Peterson, all reasonable attorney's fees and costs. This is generically known and we've had a lot of discussion, known as qualified immunity. And as everyone in this body and this committee knows, qualified immunity is a doctrine that protects law enforcement officers from civil acts, unless it can be shown that the police officer violated a, quote, clearly established statutory or constitutional right. I'm not going to go into it unless somebody asks me to. That's getting a little bit into the weeds. This bill, as I said, would create a state civil cause of action. An individual could sue for an incident of police brutality, excessive force, or violation of the Fourth Amendment. Some people have asked if there is a cost to it, and in full disclosure, there is an fiscal impact. Three things that I would bring to the body's attention. The Office of the Attorney General indicates that there would be a cost, but it's indeterminate at this time. The Department of Treasury Division of Risk Management estimates that the bill would impact the state's constitutional officer and regional jail risk management plan, which is known as VA risk, by $2.6 million a year. The Virginia State Police and Department of Criminal Justice indicate that there's no fiscal impact. That's it, Mr. Chairman, and I beg your pardon, Mr. Chairman and members of the body, there was, and I'm going to move an amendment to it which removed several lines of it, and I'm sorry I didn't do that at the very beginning, but it doesn't change anything that I've just said. So if the staff could move that amendment, I'd appreciate it.
Hovey, would you read the amendment?
Mr. Chair, Legislative Services is online. I think they'll do it.
Charles, Legislative Services.
Mr. Chair, we did not get an amendment that removed any language. We did receive something that added language, but nothing that removed any language.
What amendment did you get?
Unless Senator Morrissey tells me
Sure.
I need a clarification
I'm sorry.
on what Senator Morrissey is looking for.
Yes, Charles, and in subsection E, we deleted the language that would hold the employee deputy police officer liable to the $5,000 figure. So it simply now reads, and I will read it to the body, subsection E now reads, notwithstanding any other provision of law, a law enforcement officer's employer shall indemnify its law enforcement officers for any liability incurred by the law enforcement officer and for any judgment or settlement entered against the law enforcement officer for claims arising pursuant to this section. It concludes by saying, notwithstanding any provision of this section to the contrary, if the law enforcement officer's portion of the judgment is uncollectible from the law enforcement officer, the law enforcement officer's employer or insurer shall satisfy the full amount of the judgment or settlement.
Mr. Chairman, Surville.
Senator Surville.
Thank you. The version I'm looking at online has no subsection E.
Mr. Chair, I just published what Senator Morrissey read. When he said deletion of language, it was actually a inclusion of subsection C, and then there was some, due to what was suggested initially, there was some language taken out of that, but what is published online under offered is exactly what Senator Morrissey read. So I think that was the confusion in what Senator Morrissey first described as the amendment.
Senator Morrissey, you want to make the
Mr. Chairman,
motion?
What he said.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, Surville.
Senator Surville.
I don't believe we ever adopted a substitute, did we?
No, we've not adopted a substitute. We just have the bill, and now it's an amendment.
Right, but we're amending a substitute that we never adopted.
That's correct.
I didn't know we had a substitute. I thought we had the bill.
Right, so Mr. Chair, I think the proper procedure is to adopt the substitute that Senator Morrissey has described. It's not an amendment, it is actually a substitute. So
yes,
if the committee would adopt the substitute, that would be the proper, put the substitute in the proper procedure before you.
Okay. Senator Deeds moves we adopt the substitute. Senator Morrissey moves that we seconds it. All in favor of the motion to adopt the substitute, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Senator Morrissey. Senator Morrissey.
I believe that was Senator Deeds, Mr. Chair.
Senator Deeds.
Well, with all due respect to Senator Morrissey, I'm worried that this is just a terribly complicated issue for a special session, and I'm not sure we can get it right. And I'm not sure we can responsibly add something to the budget that takes $2.6 million or more a year out of the general fund. So what I'd move is that we PBI the bill and refer it to the Boyd Graves Commission for study with instructions to report to us by the next session if possible.
Is there
Mr.
a
Chair.
second to that? Is there a second?
Mr. Chair, Morrissey. Substitute motion, but the same effect. I'd ask, perhaps, given what Senator Deeds said, and I've spoken to some of the members of the committee, referral to Boyd Graves, but also carry over to the 2021 session.
I don't think we can do that. I think that's.
Can't?
Can we do that?
I don't think we can do that.
Yeah. I'm not sure we can do that.
No, sir.
What's the ruling?
I don't
Clerk-
believe that
the
you
clerk
can
says
carry
no.
a bill over from special session to regular session.
Okay, we can't do that. So we either PBI, so the motion is to PBI the bill and refer it to the Boyd Graves Commission to look at it and report back. And it's been moved and seconded to that. All right, before we do that, there are a bunch of people who like to speak for it and against it. Does anybody insist on going forward with their speech? If so, now's your time. That we have a number of names, but I'm not going to call them since we have a motion unless somebody insists on wanting to say something.
And can we reserve our position to speak if it does not go to the Boyd Commission?
Yes, you can reserve your right to speak if the motion does not pass. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, before us is a motion.
The motion was to PBI
Motion
and send the bill to Boyd Graves.
To pass the bill by indefinitely and send it to the Boyd Graves Conference for their report. All in favor of the motion, call the roll.
Senator Sasslaw. Senator Norman. Senator Lucas.
Aye.
Senator Obenshain. Senator McDougal.
Aye to PBI.
Senator Stewart. Senator Stanley. Senator Chafin. Senator Deeds.
Aye.
Senator Peterson. Senator Servill. Senator McClellan. Senator Boysko.
Aye.
Senator Morrissey.
Aye.
Senator Edwards.
Aye.
Ayes 14, no 0.
I'll have a bill that Senate Bill 5016 having to do with parole. I'm going to ask that it be sent to the Crime Commission.
So, Mr. Chair, I would move that the bill be PBI'd and sent to the Crime Commission for review.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that my bill regarding parole be sent to the Crime Commission for study, the Senate Bill 5016. I do have a number of people for and against. Does anybody insist on saying anything? If not, we'll vote.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
I've got a question of the chair. Mr. Chairman, you presented this bill, if I'm not mistaken, in the 2020 session. It was referred to the Crime Commission with a request that a letter be sent back to Chair of Judiciary. Have you received any notification or letter or pronouncement at all regarding this bill?
Well, as a member of the Crime Commission, we officially did not send it to the Crime Commission, but the Crime Commission is studying other bills similar to this, so I want this to go directly to the Crime Commission. I'm sure they'll do a thorough study.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah,
Mr.
Senator
Servill.
Servill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm reading the email from the Executive Director of the Crime Commission that I got. She said for the 2021 session, we are, as part of the Commission's work plan, we are studying parole. It doesn't say parole
That's true, but
reinstatement,
my
it says
bill has
parole.
not officially been sent to the Crime Commission, though.
Mr. Chair, one final question.
Yes. Senator Morrissey.
Has there been a JLARC study done, and has that has it been sent to you or anybody on the committee?
No. Are you ready to vote on the motion to PBI the bill and send it to the Crime Commission for study? Call the roll.
Senator Sasslaw. Senator Norman. Senator Lucas.
Aye.
Senator Obenshain. Senator McDougal. Senator Stewart. Senator Stanley. Senator Chafin. Senator Deeds.
Aye.
Senator Peterson. Senator Serval. Senator McClellan. Senator Boysko.
Aye.
Senator Morrissey. Senator Edwards.
Aye.
Ayes 14, no zero.
One bill we could look at, and that is Senate Bill 5108, Senator Chafin's bill regarding local control of firearms. Senator Chafin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me don my mask here. I was eating. This bill would provide that any local ordinances that prohibit the possession, carrying, or transportation of firearms, ammunition, or their components, or a combination, would not apply to someone with who possesses and holds a valid concealed handgun permit. And I would say that this was a fairly contentious subject at the regular session earlier this year, and there were concerns expressed about creating patchworks of varying laws, creating confusion with our law-abiding citizens. So let me review with the committee some of the developments. In the less than 2 months that this legislation's been in place, localities have passed ordinances that conflict or contain exemptions that other localities don't have. They're all different. Just yesterday, in fact, the city of Norfolk had to pull a gun control ordinance from its agenda less than 4 hours before the meeting began because it was so confusing and poorly worded. City of Richmond had to postpone their hearing on an ordinance because Richmond police admitted enforcement was so difficult and so varying. So we have over 650,000 Virginia citizens holding a concealed carry permit, and they are trained and they have completed background checks. Creating this exemption for concealed carry holders will help control the chaos that we're already seeing in the variance of the policies that are being implemented by localities. It's a reasonable exemption because we know that certainly our concealed carry permit holders are among the most law-abiding citizens in the Commonwealth. So this is the same type of exemption that this committee and that the General Assembly had the foresight to include in favor of our concealed permit holders in the one handgun per month rule, the one handgun per month law that was passed earlier this year.
Mr. Chairman, would the gentleman yield for a question?
Yes, Senator Deeds.
I'll yield.
Senator Chafin, I'd ask, Mr. Chair, what does this bill have to do with any of the reasons why we were called in a special session?
Senator Chafin.
Mr. Chairman, I would say that as has been noted by a number of people, that the reasons that this session were called was because of the political unrest, the social injustice, all of these things that have led to protests that are in conflict. The assembly of people in the different localities are in conflict, in fact, with these ordinances.
Okay. Senator Deeds.
Mr. Chair.
Senator Morrissey.
Thank you. Question for the patron.
I'll yield.
Senator Chafin.
Senator Chafin, if you'll look at lines 12 through 17 inclusive, the very beginning of the existing statute, it prohibits a locality from passing a local ordinance dealing with the possession of a firearm. For example, the City of Richmond City Council cannot pass an ordinance prohibiting bringing a gun into council meetings on Monday evening. Would you not agree?
Senator Chafin.
Mr. Chairman, I would not agree with that. I think that the laws that we passed specifically permitted the passing of ordinances that allowed for a patchwork of prohibitions for carrying guns in different locations for different functions.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman. Servo.
Senator Servo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I appreciate, the concern here. And this is the legislation that was my bill that we came through. The bill is local option, and there's nothing in the bill that prohibits a locality from building a concealed carry exemption in any of the ordinances they adopt. But beyond that, this is not part of what we were called to be here for today. It doesn't relate to COVID, doesn't relate to the budget. If we start going down this road where we're considering bills about anything, we'll be here for another 3 months. So, I think this is something we need to look at maybe in regular session, but it's just not something for the special. And having said that, I'd move to PBI the bill.
Second.
Been moved to PBI the bill and it's been seconded by Senator Boysko, I believe. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion to pass the bill by indefinitely, call the roll.
Senator Saslaw. Senator Norman. Senator Lucas.
Aye.
Senator Obenshain. Senator McDougal.
PBI. No.
Senator Stewart. Senator Stanley. Senator Chafin.
No.
Senator Deeds. Senator Peterson. Senator Serval. Senator McClellan. Senator Boysko.
Aye.
Senator Morrissey. Senator Edwards.
Aye.
9 ayes, 5 nays.
9-5, the bill is passed by indefinitely. We're going to, without objection, recess the committee. We have come back after the session to deal with Senator Saslaw's ever-changing bill, that's Senate Bill 5067, and Senator Vogel's companion bill of Senate Bill 5098 and Senator Vogel's Senate Bill 5099. We'll deal with after the session and after the general session that will start here in a few minutes. I believe those are the only bills I have on the
I'm going to
docket.
come back and do them, though.
Is that correct? Okay. Without objection, the Judiciary Committee will be in recess till after the session.